Yeah, good morning. Hello. Thank you very much for joining and taking time out of your day. Jamie, can you see my screen there? It says my screen sharing is paused. Just double checking that you can. No. Yeah, you can now. Perfect. Brilliant. Okay, so today I want to talk about brand signals and why I strongly believe that brand signals will decide your visibility in AI-powered search, and then talk a little bit about where you should double down. Sorry, I'm going to share my screen again. It's not letting me control it. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just try that again. Flashing something up at me, so it seems like you guys could see it, but I can't. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so brand signals, why this matters, what they are, and where to double down. But as a very, very quick intro, hi, I'm James. I'm managing director and founder of an agency called Digital. I've been doing SEO for 16 years now, coming into my 17th year of doing SEO. Trust me, I've seen all sorts in that time frame. And I spent the last 12 years running an agency. Right now, I'm spending an awful lot of time deep into research and innovation around this new era of search. I honestly believe that SEO has got fun again. I feel that between maybe 2017, 2018 and 23, 24, SEO got a little bit boring. It just became a game of who can pump out the most amount of average content. And yeah, it's got fun again. And I'm going to share some of those insights with you today. You might have seen me speaking at events like Brighton SEO and SMX before. And I'm very proud as an agency that we work with lots and lots of fantastic brands who are very, very on board with the sort of things that I'm going to be talking about today, understanding the importance of brand signals in this new era of search. So where do I start? Well, it's a crazy world of marketing out there right now. As I think Dave shared one of these headlines 20 minutes ago from New York where SEO is dead, say hello to GEO. We've seen Inc. saying it. We've seen Forbes saying it. But on the flip of it, we've got Google saying good SEO is good GEO. We're existing and working in an industry right now where there are lots of opinions. There are lots of agendas. I think, I saw something again just this morning on LinkedIn saying that, I think it was from Lily Ray saying that most of the people peddling this narrative that SEO is dead are trying to sell you some sort of GEO tracking tool. And honestly, right now, there's a lot of conflicting and confusing insights out there, but nobody has it all figured out right now. And I think that the first thing that we all have to take away here is that nobody knows all the answers. Why? Because things are moving so incredibly fast. Things are changing. We are still so early. But that doesn't mean we can't find the answers to what's happening, to how we can appear in these. It just means that we have to have our finger on the pulse. We have to be open to investigation, open to reverse engineering why things are working and being a little bit inquisitive. Now, as someone who's spent the last 16 and a bit years very, very knee-deep in SEO strategy, I find this fascinating. I think, as I say, SEO's got fun again. We're back in an era where you can't just perform by understanding the basics. We're in an era where SEO once again is a mix of technical skills, strategy, and really that appetite for test and learn. But what we can all agree on is that organic clicks are being lost. Here's just one example from a brand we work with. Back in December, they were getting 2,800 clicks on a day from 196,000 impressions. A couple of weeks back, 50,000 more impressions, yet clicks were down by about 40%. This is not uncommon. And we have to be looking at this going, what the hell is going on? As marketers, we're being asked some often very uncomfortable questions about what the hell is going on. It's very easy for a CEO, a CFO, sometimes even the CMO to go, okay, organic performance is trending down. We've lost visibility. We've been overtaken by competitors. As Dave showed before with the BBC, that's often not the case. These are brands that are performing as well as, if not better than they were. Yet the clicks are shifting. The clicks are disappearing. But where we are in a different world to, I think perhaps we've seen in times gone by, is that most of these searches and clicks, they're not going to another site. They're not going to another platform. They're going nowhere. AI overviews, as an example, it's answering the query directly on the search. AI mode, again, there's not really the same incentive to click through. And then we have this grouping of AI chatbots. ChatGPT, of course, is the most prolific and widely used of these. What is happening is that we are seeing a rapid rise of zero-click searches. But really what this means is that people are discovering brands in new ways. Whereas a number of years ago, people were discovering brands at the top of the funnel through Google, through clicks to informational content, to guides. They are now discovering these brands very much in a zero-click world. What we know is that the top of the funnel is fragmenting. This is something we have to get comfortable with. This isn't something that's going to change. The clicks that we are in theory losing are not coming back, and they're certainly not being replaced by ChatGPT, which is the narrative that often gets pushed. I saw some insight last night, some brand new research that was shared by a friend of mine over in Australia, Brodie Clark, who has brand new data from last month, SimilarWeb, that in August, 95.3% of ChatGPT users visited Google, while only 14% of Google users visited ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not replacing Google. We have to stop this narrative. It's very, very easy to latch on to the hype of ChatGPT is what's taking away our search traffic. It's not. It's supplementing. As Dave shared the great study from SEMrush that showed actually people who actively use ChatGPT are searching Google more than they were before. They're just searching in different ways. But I strongly believe, and you will hear me talk a little bit today about ChatGPT, but I'm not going to be talking too much about it because I genuinely believe that Google will win at AI search. I want to take I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to take about 30 seconds to watch this Google advert. I want to talk about it. There's no sound. I want you to think about what is being pushed here. I first saw this ad at the cinema. I've since seen it on primetime TV. Google is pushing this everywhere. Google is trying to own the narrative and educate their mass audience on a new way to search. This is huge, and this will have a significant impact over time. I remember the first time I saw this a couple of months back in the cinema, and I sat there and I thought, wow, this is bold. Google has rolled out AI overviews. It's rolled out AI mode, and it is now having to backtrack and convince and educate the audience how to use it, that they can search differently. But aside from this, Google has the infrastructure and the audience to win that I just don't believe any of the other players do. Google has this large web index from traditional search. It has the knowledge graph. And on top of that, it's layered a large language model. OpenAI can tap into Google search or Bing. They don't have that fundamental infrastructure or the audience. And it's going to be a rocky ride. But I think where as marketers we need to be really, really thinking right now is where are Google taking this? Because we are seeing traffic go to ChatGPT, searches go to ChatGPT to a certain extent. Disclaimer, I don't like calling them searches. I don't believe in a lot of instances they are search engines, they're answer engines. But hey, I think we all seem to have called this AI search, which with Google, I think we can stay familiar with. But when it comes to ChatGPT, Perplexity, an interesting exercise that I've done with both my team and a number of clients is to say, out of the room, what are the last 5 things you use ChatGPT for? I ran this in a room of 20 people a couple of months back, and one person said, I used it to research a product. Everything else was proofing content, helping me with Google Sheets, finding issues in code. It was largely sort of those tasks that Google was never set up to do. Anyway, but Even though we're still early, change is coming whether we like it or not. Here are two tweets that were put out a week apart from two separate Google engineers. One is saying, firstly, we're going to bring more links into the Google AI surfaces, AI mode, AI overviews, because that's what customers want. A week later, you have another Google engineer saying that very soon they are going to likely shift AI mode to default. Last night, we see one of the engineers who first posted it 2 weeks ago saying, wouldn't read too much into this. We're focusing on making it easy to access AI mode for those who want it. This is what pairs our industry. Yesterday, Search Engine Land, Search Engine Journal, everybody was going mad, going, AI mode is becoming default very, very soon. Don't see it. I believe the future of Google search is going to be modular. Google has AI overviews, AI mode. It has a fantastic shopping product recommendation engine. I honestly believe that over the next months to years, we will see some sort of modular search. My prediction here is that we will likely be able to engage with what we currently see as AI overviews in more of a chat system, ingrained into modular blocks that almost still address that traditional search behavior. I think, when we have Google engineers saying they're going to make it easy to access for people who want to use it, it's a big, big ask to expect everybody to just shift to a new interface, a new platform. Google is still investing heavily in the rollout of merchant listings, the free shopping listing. We're still seeing expansion of these SERP features. I believe we're going to see a modular search results page. I may be wrong, but that's what I think all the signs point to right now. But the foundation of AI search visibility, it is becoming a trusted entity. I think all of the three of us who've spoken so far say we've all talked about building entities, building brand. What do I mean by a trusted entity? Well, a trusted entity in this context is a brand that's clearly understood. Who it is, what it does, why it matters, and whose authority is trusted. That is what a trusted entity is, in my opinion. And we need to be working as marketers to build trusted entities as brands, as the people within the business that are understood by people and machines. But ultimately, the brands that are mentioned the most by AI search are those with strong brand signals. Now, we can talk about brand signals being all sorts of different things, but ultimately, brand searches, they are brand mentions. They are a higher click-through rate as a result of being a trusted brand. We could keep going and going and going. The really simple way to explain the importance of brand signals is that you can't be recommended by AI as the best if you're the only one seeing it. We know that being visible in AI search, just like traditional search, is largely about what you say about yourself. So that's your website's content, structured data, having a site that's technically sound, accessible, as was mentioned earlier, ensuring that you're not using JavaScript that can't be rendered by some of the bots. But what other people say about you, your reputation, is more important than anything. This is things like press coverage, reviews, social, discussion forums, the places that other people are talking about your brand. And in many ways, and I'll show some examples in a couple of minutes, this can be make or break. Reputation has never been more important. But we've all seen and heard that you just need more brand mentions if you want to be visible in AI search. A lot of this came from a study by Ahrefs that showed that branded web mentions have the highest correlation with visibility in AI overviews. Now I get it, and I don't disagree with it, but there's something missing here. It is not just about more brand mentions. You can't just go and get lots more mentions of your brand around the web. Screens of 2010, 2011 SEO, where it was go and get any link you can, go and get anything. Doesn't matter where it's from, who it's from, what context it's in. You need more contextual brand mentions. And this is the key thing that is so often missed when people are talking about how to be visible in AI search. It's so easy for us to latch onto, I just need more brand mentions. No, you need to make sure they're in the right context. Mentions must clearly reference who you are and what you do. And as SEOs, I think we're used to thinking about links as, well, if that link isn't relevant, if that link's not great, that link will be ignored by Google. With AI, where AI is pulling multiple sources and summarizing those, we can run the real risk of irrelevant or out of context brand mentions at some sort of scale, confusing and diluting what the AI knows about us. Ultimately, if we want to perform, we need to be featured in the sources that influence the AI answers. And don't worry, I'm not going to go into too much depth on this, but to understand how this fits in, we have to start breaking down how these different AI platforms work. So how does Google Gemini generate overviews, as an example?
I'm sorry, Jay.
Overviews, as an example, relies on high authority sources. It will take the prompts and it will cite those as these high authority sources. High authority sources, of course, are relevant news publications, those sort of things, trusted sources. Again, if we look back to the foundations of SEO, PageRank, seed sites, and link distance ranking, this is not really dissimilar to how traditional search works. If we then look at how Google generates AI mode responses, we really have to hone in on what's called query fan-out. So query fan-out essentially is taking a question or a prompt for a query into subtopics and then running a multitude of searches on your behalf. What does this do? It allows search to dive deeper into the web than a traditional search, concurrently running 20, 30 or more queries around variations on a topic. You can see there an example of how could you suggest Bluetooth headphones with a comfortable overhead design and long-lasting battery, how this can break down into subqueries like best Bluetooth headphones with an overhead design, list of top rated overhead Bluetooth headphones, that sort of thing. We then look at the type of sources that AI typically cites. It's things like timely and authoritative news websites, reputable industry publications, review platforms, discussion forums, relevant search results. We're given these sources within the platforms themselves. In Google AI, in ChatGPT, yes, we're only getting a fraction of these. This is by no means every source that's seen, but we can start to see the type of result that are being cited here. Interestingly, as has been mentioned a couple of times today already, there is an 86% overlap between AI overview citation in Google's top 10. Drops to 54% in AI mode, but ultimately the foundation of being visible is being present on the top 10 results on organic search. Now, this often gets taken as meaning this is about your own site appearing, but actually we need to consider this as not just being visible on the rankings that for your site, not just your site being relevant and being surfaced, but also being mentioned multiple times in the corpus. When we run query fan out, that could be 300 or more results that are being looked at to understand what should we recommend here. The more you are featured within that corpus here, the more likely you are to be surfaced. Hence the importance of PR being referenced from third-party sites. But actually, this sounds a lot like PR sat atop of great SEO. It's really important, I think, here that when we talk and when we see people talking about GEO, generative engine optimization, is it something new? I think those of us who've been combining SEO and PR to drive organic growth for 10 years or more now would argue that for the large part, it's great SEO combined with great PR. And that's pretty much where this thing of GEO, in my opinion, has got to. Ultimately, PR is the most effective way to control what other people say about you on the web. This has to be a key focus. But to break down some of the tactics with examples here, if you are selling products or services, and again, we can use the term product PR to mean promoting your product, promoting your service. Product PR is one of the most important and fastest ways you can influence AI-powered recommendations. Being included in best of top 10 roundups, the surge in publications expanding and doubling down on 10 products, best roundup of mattresses and machines. It is insane. I see the number of responses and requests coming through from journalists every single day. They are updating these monthly. This is a goldmine of opportunity. Why? Brand perspective, being included in them gets you recommended. From the publisher perspective, they end up being cited and surfaced on the AI search more often than they would if they weren't publishing these. Freshness is so important. Product reviews and features. Coverage for deals and discounts, so incredibly important. The tactic for being surfaced in AI search if you sell products or offering your own services. A couple of examples here. We've been working for the past 4 months with a brand called Emma Sleep, mattress in a box brand. Just a few months into pretty much exclusive product PR. Our core focus here is product PR. We've seen a 46% increase in AIO visibility. We've seen the brand now surfaced and some of the coverage that we had them included being surfaced by ChatGPT when asking for recommendations on a mattress. And we now see them recommended as the best mattress in a box in AI mode. This is coming from consistent product PR. Every week we're landing new features around their sales, their products in roundups. This works and it works fast. But layering that with proprietary research, I honestly believe that one of the most valuable things any brand can do right now is to invest in proprietary research. Unique and original data studies, industry reports. Why? Because this gets cited disproportionately by AI because it brings something new to the table that no one else has, and that AI cannot replicate. We are in a world where any of us can go and create content very, very quickly on something that we know nothing about with ChatGPT. So that consensus content, it has very little value to be surfaced now. Bringing unique data, if you have owned data that you can use in this, you are at a massive, massive advantage. But also, this type of content earns mentions and links, keeping this flywheel spinning. It feeds into what traditional search rewards as well. A couple of examples here. This doesn't have to be big, flashy, creative campaigns. A piece of content that we created with a brand called SoPro, who are essentially a tech brand who are powering lead generation, B2B lead generation. We created a roundup of statistics and trends based on their own data. Every year we run something called the State of Prospecting for those guys, a big industry report, a white paper. We turn that into things like these statistics, both 223 links, 41 domains, places like HubSpot, Make.com. This is relevant brand mentions on autopilot. And it is no surprise that that page itself is being cited so often by ChatGPT in AI overviews, that sort of thing. But also on maybe the other end of the spectrum, fun but on-brand research for caring.com, revealing the happiest states for seniors, bringing in proprietary data-led research is still so incredibly important. The excitement of the team when they saw 2 days after we published this and started getting coverage, it was being cited in AI overviews. This is the type of content that the AIs want to surface. But proactive and reactive expert insights as well. Getting your subject matter experts quoted alongside the key topics you want to be surfaced for. Journalists need expert insights more than ever. It allows them to add something that AI couldn't to their stories. If we think of the challenges we have as a brand, publications, journalists have similar challenges. What do we want? We want references such as person, job role at brand, says, contextually referencing the person entity alongside the brand entity within relevant content. But this means we have to be selective on what we comment on what's relevant and be selective. A couple of examples here for a brand that we work with called Preply in the language learning space, commenting on how AI can support learning, being in sort of that thought leadership space. This is such a great way to, one, build relevant entity connections, but also showcase who you are and what you do. Last few bits from me. Forum mentions. Reddit and Quora feature some of the most cited websites in AI search. Being talked about on these platforms is no longer optional. This does not mean link dropping, spamming. This ultimately means building an expert-led strategy. I see a world where in the next few months to year, we are going to see things like Reddit engagement as an extension of PR. And then product and brand reviews. One of the things that's not being talked about enough is that AI search now presents new reputation management challenges. You can go and ask ChatGPT AI mode, is a brand a trusted brand? And it will bring up reviews, forum discussions. Understand what this says about you and then use PR to change that narrative if it's not what you want to see. So finally from me, PR for SEO versus GEO, what's different? Well, affiliate partnerships have a huge influence. Unlike traditional SEO, where there's been that long debate of do affiliate links help drive traditional search, this feeds into AI search visibility. As a brand, load your PR team up with deals and set up an affiliate scheme if you haven't. You will be rewarded massively for this. The contextual relevance of coverage matters more than anything else. If you are being cited out of context, this irrelevant coverage can distort the AI's understanding of who you are and what you do. This is not like Google search where it will go, oh, okay, that link isn't really relevant. We're going to ignore it. We have to be really careful on who we are and what we talk about. And more than anything, how and whether or not you appear on the sources that AI summarizes is as critical as your own content being included. Being relevant and being included in those sources you've maybe not considered in the past. You cannot focus on AI visibility at the expense of traditional search. And in my opinion, GEO is a layer that sits atop of this. So that's everything from me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now or drop me a line. And yeah, I'm always more than happy to chat further.
Thank you very much, James. Great talk.